Hello, chroeso I Poetry is Alive and Well. Hello and welcome to Poetry is Alive and Well with me, Chris Davies, and...
Annie Pelleschi.
My able assistant, Annie Pelleschi.
Thank you.
Co-presenter, love. Co-presenter,
Oh, love.
of course.
Right, okay.
And today we've got joining us is Tavion Hughes. Hello, Tavion, how are you?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Now then, so tell us where you're from originally. Now, you're from the east side of Swansea, aren't you?
Yes. Well, originally I was born near Penlan, Creethyn, Pedregethin Road.
Oh, right. I'm not far from Forest Fach.
No, that's right, yeah. Then we moved then to Llansamlet then.
Right.
I was 5, that was 1960. I moved away for a little bit, then I came back to Llansamlet, been there ever since.
Right. Now then, because, I mean, the east side of Swansea and the dialect of the east end of Swansea does feature quite heavily in your work, doesn't it? Or that there are some... Yeah. So, I mean, to start off with, I mean, what kind of area... I mean, how different is it now compared to what it was years ago when you first moved there?
Well, the area itself has changed. I think the Vale has gone. I remember that's where the enterprise zone is now.
Oh, right.
I remember going to school where you could smell the sulphur. Well, you couldn't smell it, you could smell it, but you could taste it as well.
So the Vale were works, were they?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
What do they produce there?
There was a variety of things.
Okay.
It's where the it's just heavy industry, and it's where the enterprise zone is now.
Right.
But as I said, I remember the sound of the klaxons.
Yeah.
And the taste of sulphur in the back of the throat.
That's a sharp image.
Well, yeah, it is actually. I was just thinking of that in terms of poetry then, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Chris.
I'm converted.
Oh.
Klaxons and sulphur.
Oh, brill. Okay.
That's a good title. That's a good title.
It is indeed.
I remember that.
So, I mean, would you hear different people talking? I mean, does that stick in your memory? The type of, the industry chat, and is that something that features in your work? Or
I think so. Well, I suppose yes. I knew people then who worked down that way. I think those kinds of people have. It's the jobs. Llandarcy closed down. BB Llandarcy. So, the talk of, people, tradesmen then talking about the work they did.
I mean, that was quite recent, wasn't it, BP Llandarcy?
BP Llandarcy was fairly, yes.
Because I remember the smell and the sights from Llandarcy.
The smell, those smells were gone as well. Smells are, quite a big,
they kind of invigorate the senses, either in a good way or a bad way. It links sometimes with a memory as well, doesn't it? Because even now my dad will say, "Oh, Llandarcy," if I say I'm going to Llandarcy for some purpose. Oh, Llandarcy, but it's because he remembers the works.
That's right. And the carbon black on the way over there.
Yes.
But sorry, Tavion, you said you moved from Pedregethin Road, which is Portmead, Creethyn, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was no industry there, was there, when you were born?
No.
There might have been the garage in Creethyn, the bus garage.
Yes, up the top there, yeah.
But there was no industry there.
Not in that area.
So you moved from there into to an industrial area, really?
Yeah, although they were building new houses, they were new builds at the time. It was in the middle. Well, it was the house I lived in was actually between BB Llandarcy and Swansea Vale then.
Oh, right, so you were sandwiched in.
Stuck in the middle there, think about it. Why my parents would ever go in and...
Well, there must have been everybody moves for a better life, don't they? So there must have been something.
My father worked over that way as well, because he worked for an engineering firm that had contracts in BB Llandarcy. So it was that neck of the woods, really. That's where a lot of the jobs were. Going back to what you say about the talk. I mean, it's you don't hear people saying "stop fortnight" anymore.
No.
What's that?
Stop fortnight.
Stop fortnight. So what's that mean?
That was the standard holiday. It was last week of July, first week of August.
Right.
Firms went well. It was like a skeleton staff kind of thing.
Right.
Stop fortnight. So you don't hear so much about that now. So.
I mean, if I'm to bring the Welsh language into it, if I'm getting ready for an afternoon shift in any job that I do, my dad will say to me, what were you doing? Tundoi today, is it? And it was Tundoi, which is the second turn of the day down in the mines,
Right.
and that's still alive in the way he speaks of Tundoi. I was like, what is Tundoi? I mean, I know what he means, obviously, but it's funny, isn't it? I mean, out of context, it's like you said with the stop fortnight. You said, was it?
Yeah, stop fortnight. Yeah, stop fortnight. Yes,
brilliant.
Yes, actually, my brother worked in Metalbox, which is closed again. Which is closed. Metalbox is gone now, and he was saying the same. You know, actually, stop fortnight was something they were thinking of bringing back in the Metalbox.
Oh, really?
But having said that, it's shut now anyway. So
Yeah.
that's the end. That's the end of the
But
line, so.
from what you were saying about the words that you heard as a child growing up, that came from industry, really, those words are bound to be dissipating now, aren't they? Because the industry is gone. So have we got words that have replaced them? Sayings that have replaced them?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Yeah.
Do you know what I find, I suppose that the world is becoming smaller through technology, and we all seem to be on more of a one chat or one conversation globally now. I mean, when people used to live their square miles, they used to have, local dialects that only people in their own, villages or square miles would understand. It's like, the kind of Welsh my grandmother used to speak, colfen meaning tree, coeden now is the word, things like that, oifad for swimming, nofio. People outside this area of Swansea or the west area of Swansea where she lived, where my family's from, people wouldn't understand that. No. But so then, when we're connecting online, Twitter, Facebook, we almost have to neutralise the way that we talk, whether it's in speaking or in writing, and so we can make ourselves understood, I suppose. Do you think that's what it is?
Do you think we're sterilising the language then through doing that? Because language is always evolving, isn't it?
Well, yes.
But picking up on what you say, we have to be quite clinical, very clear about what we're saying so everybody can understand.
Yeah.
Are we sterilising?
I think we're standardising in a way. Is it sterilising? I don't know.
Just maybe suspending or I don't know what we're doing. But some of the work that Tyvian that we've read, can you imagine some of the dialect that Tyvian's used when being read in America?
Well, that's right.
Let alone Cardiff.
Right. And then you're limited on your audience, I suppose, aren't you? But then it's a piece of work from this area, isn't it? And you want to keep it quite, authentic and East Swansea.
Yeah, I think I've written stuff where as I'm writing it, I think, this isn't going to travel.
Right, interesting.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. And then
if you don't please yourself,
well, exactly.
It's pointless. It's pointless.
Exactly.
It's pointless sitting there, really.
Your writing is personal to you, and then if you have to explain to somebody what that means, then so be it.
Yeah.
That's what asterisk. I can't even say the word. Asterix is.
Asterisk.
What's the plural for asterisk?
Asterix.
R4. There we are.
We particularly like, from the book The 10 Swansea Writers, we particularly liked Even Horseflies.
Oh, yeah.
Because when Chris opened it up and he said, good God, even horseflies, but when we read through it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I quite liked it because it shows that, well, even the meaning attached to it came straight to me, or what I thought the meaning was. Even horseflies, I quite like it. Could you just explain a little bit about us, about the poem to us?
Yeah, well, it's I suppose it sums up a lot about me, really. I mean, there's reference to sort of politics in there, which I'm interested in as well.
Right.
But I don't. Politics don't sort of play a huge part in what I do, so I sort of allude to it. But what it's about then really is the modern world, being sort of as things are now, and being interested in politics is one thing, and I do write about it. But I find that not as enjoyable then as writing about things that I used to do when I was younger. So I think it's about coming back to your roots, coming back to something you feel comfortable with,
And is your political view obvious in your work?
I think it is.
Could you share that with us?
Well, I'm a member of the Labour Party. I'm a Corbyn supporter. I just think that my big bugbear is the tax system. I think the tax system should be reformed completely.
Okay, right. This is getting into a political.
It is. And do you know what?
He is a poet, so
indeed. Now we'll listen to some. If you can read some of it to us after the break, if that's all right. But we're just going to go to a commercial break now. All right.
Yeah, great.
So excellent. We'll the three of us will see you after the break. Hello, chroeso nôl I Poetry is Alive and Well. Welcome back to Poetry is Alive and Well with me, Chris Davies, Annie Pelleschi, and our guest, Tavion Hughes. Now, before the break, Tavion, we were discussing Even Horseflies, some of your work. Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you read some of it, maybe from halfway down?
Yes, okay.
The last three stanzas, if that's okay.
Okay. Even Horseflies. Starlings strung on pylons over Talakopper fields, all mumbling their love of tractors and Lycian's corn, a belted hedge of hips and haws, slow slopes down Gobfull Road. The shigling stick his grandson wagged made weasels bolt, or were they stoats? He said good morning to the crows, his boots on jackdaw tips. By Crumlin Farm's hard muck, where lobworms traced his winter dance, he ate the wind that chucked up rooks. But he worshipped most the carrion's core through black frosted oaks above the Nant. Railway banks by Ket and Tap and Ebenezer, bracken adder, tracking voles, its V with zigzag black. Quarry ponds where midnight mammoths drank, the swim of grass snakes, 4-foot munching frogs, the pentre where corrugated sheets shrouded warm the slow worms.
Brilliant.
lovely.
Yeah. Lots of words there, isn't there? This is quite unique to the area.
Yeah, well, that's
like we were discussing earlier. Joe,
it,
you had us both. We had a titter then.
I mean, my mother would be aghast if she'd heard me say gobfull road. What would your mother say?
It's Gwynplaine Chwith Road.
What is it?
Gwynplaine Chwith.
Gwynplaine Chwith, is it?
Yeah,
oh, no wonder.
Which it just became Gobfull Road.
I love it. That's so funny because if you can't pronounce it, what you say, Gobfull Road. That's so funny. That's brilliant. And through Black Frost, I was going to say Black Forest then. Through like Black Forest Cat.
I know you're hungry, aren't you? You're hungry.
Through black frosted oaks above the Nant. What's the Nant? I mean, I know it's a stream in Welsh.
Stream,
but why choose that word? Was it
not far from where I am? No, actually, there's a drop down not far from where I am, down what we call the Cum. It's Crumlin Quarry.
Right.
It was an actual quarry once upon a time where they used stone for the docks. That was done and dusted. Then we played there as kids. There were ponds there.
So was that the name on the area? Was it Nant?
The Nant was like the stream. There were streams. There were
You're not a Welsh speaker, though, are you, Tavion?
No, I'm not.
Although your name and the words used are Welsh, aren't they?
So would people refer to the stream as the Nant?
Some people would, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what you would call it, is it?
Yeah, yes, that's the Nant, yes. And the Pentre.
I was going to say, you've also got the Pentre, where corrugated sheets. So I thought that was a name on a pub or something then, the Pentre, but it's you're actually talking about a village here, are you?
Well, the Pentre was what we called, around the back of where I live now, there was a old, the original village, the Frederick Place village, and it was always called the Pentre. I think some people still refer to it as, even though it's not there now, that area there.
Right.
It's I tell you what it is now, it's allotments.
Okay. See, it's brilliant that those kind of words still live through your work, and then that's where you get people like us then asking, well, what do you mean by that? And you know, people may not call it that anymore.
Well, I understand Ebenezer as a chapel. That's what I get.
That's gone. That's been knocked
But
down.
what the heck is a ket?
The ket. Now that this is it's a kind of it was a bank. The area is a bank, and there's a railway line there. And it's just that area, but then I have to put my hand up and say I've asked this. I asked somebody who was a member of the Llansamlet Historical Society, and I asked him what was the name of the ket. Why was it called a ket? And he said, I don't know. So I don't know.
Because it's not a Welsh word, is it? It's got a K in it, so it's not a Welsh
no,
word.
that's right. I don't know. I don't know why it was called a ket, but it always was, and it just stuck,
And tap?
Tap. No, the Tap was the pub. That was the railway inn.
Oh, that makes sense, doesn't it?
It was a Tap because there was and it was called the Tap. The nickname was the Tap. My father used to drink there most nights, and it was knocked down to make way for the motorway.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yes. And it was a wonderful old pub. I went there for myself when I was young. When I was a kid then.
Yeah, because when was the motorway built? 1966, wasn't it?
Around about 1970, various stages.
That part there, right, okay.
The pub came down in about 1970, I think.
Oh, right.
Somewhere around there.
And who was Mr. Lyshan? Was he Farmer Lyshan?
Lyshan's Farm, yes. The farm wasn't called Lyshan's Farm. We called it Lyshan because, it was Farmer Lyshan.
Yeah.
What was he like, Farmer Lyshan?
He was a nice old chap, and his wife. I can't remember his wife's name now. And they actually moved on they actually had a house as well on Frederick Place then. It's the other side where the Cwm is, the quarry. You got the track, and the Lyshan's Farm was the other side. We had when we were kids, we used to say that Lyshan owned the whole area over there, but. I think BP owned probably, yeah. But it was, he was like the Parky or like a figure when you were young, Lyshan's Farm, And if you, you'd be afraid to go into one of the fields, in case, you'd be shouted at and Lyshan.
Oh, right.
He just used another old word, Parky.
I don't know what that means. What's that?
Oh, parkkeeper.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
These were prominent figures, You didn't mess with a party.
Oh, right. I love that imagery of Lyshan,
and you didn't mess with your local farmers, with
real?
Lyshan included, because if you encroached and if you went into one of their fields,
right,
they'd be, they'd be shaking their fist at you,
right,
or a stick probably.
Probably things people couldn't get away with these days. But back in the day, I suppose we used to put the fear of God into people, maybe.
Yeah.
But
the last line, you've got Heifer's Bridge.
Yeah.
Well, we know what a heifer is.
Yeah.
You call me a heifer, don't you? When you think I'm not listening. I know.
Yeah.
This isn't true.
It is very true.
Don't listen to that, seriously.
But you've got Carrig Beaker.
Yes, that's the stone on top of Drummer Mountain.
Right.
Climb up to the top of it. It's there. So that's that.
And Heifer's Bridge, my bridge.
I named this Heifer's Bridge because when I was a kid, I had a bike. The best bike I'd ever had. It was £18, 2 and 6. I had it for Christmas. It was a rally bike, red and gold, and we used to go fishing up the river where the bridge was, and I was fishing. The bike was up against the hedge. A load of cows came past, knocked my bike away from the hedge, trampled all over it.
Oh.
I exaggerate. I always tell people it ended up over a foot long, but that's a complete exaggeration. But it certainly damaged all the spokes, which my father tried to put straight when I took back to the house. So I just became Heifer's Bridge where the
Oh, I see.
With the cows.
I suppose that's such a vivid memory to you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That you'd refer to it as Heifer's Bridge.
Yeah.
And talking of the various characters as well, you look at Was Next I Held a Thought. I was just looking at through the other work, and you got people like Die the Bird in there.
Oh, Die the Bird, yeah.
That's completely a Welsh thing, isn't it?
He had pigeons, but he also kept other birds as well, more exotic stuff. And he was just a font of knowledge. We got canaries and budgies. Yeah. He liked all birds.
Yeah.
Die
like
the
you have,
bird,
you know,
yeah.
The Die the Bird.
and Willie the Milk or whatever, you know,
That's
the
it,
milkman.
that's
And,
it.
you know, you say that to people outside of Wales, and
Yeah.
it is a dialectual thing, isn't it, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of...
Yeah,
I was, just to touch on another one, your other work, Not a Ripple, Save for the Trail of a Swan. Now, there's fabulous imagery in this piece. And did you spend some time up in the Lake District? Because you
No, we went on holiday. And,
it was a holiday, was it?
yes, it was a bit of an accident. Not the holidays. We went, we stayed for a week, and we stayed just outside Ambleside, and my daughters dragged me up the hill one day. Can we go for a walk? So, and they were duts, you know. And we went up the top of the hill, and as we got up the top, there was this one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
it was a small lake, completely still, except for a swan that was just going apart and swimming along the lake. And it was a completely still night, and it was just, I just, wow, you know.
I know. Do you know?
Wow,
I visited there about 3 years ago. A friend of mine now lives up there. Do you know if you saw the White Lion Hotel in the middle of Ambleside?
in the town, in
the town itself, probably.
Yeah.
But you know what? As I was driving there, it was the first time I'd ever gone to the Lake District, and I drove around the corner, and you could have been in Canada or somewhere, a completely different country. I couldn't believe it was part of the UK. It was,
As you say, there's beautiful imagery in that poem.
There is, definitely.
And you can hear the father, can't you? For his little girls, you know.
Yeah. Now we've got 10 seconds left. Have you got any work published that people can? And how can they reach this work? Very quickly in 10 seconds.
Yes, well, I'm in 10 Swansea Writers, the Talisman Arts Group.
Brilliant. There we are. So if you want to read more of Tavon's work, it's in there. We have to leave now, I'm afraid, and cut short. But thanks for watching. Speak again soon.
See you later.